Hello everyone, once again welcome back to my channel, and today's is the second episode of the series of competency based questions in biology. Today we are going to do in the chapter heredity and evolution. We have already done the chapter control and coordination in the first episode, so if you have not seen that video you can go and check the description link below. Okay, and you can find that one in that the first episode of that is control and coordination in that video. Okay, so let's start. First question: Manisha is Indian actress. She was born in Delhi to a homemaker mother and an engineer father. She is around 5 feet tall. She has naturally curly hair. She has trained in contemporary and ballet dancing. Which of this is most likely to be true about her children? Option A, they may dance well. Option B, they may grow up to have curly hair. Option C, they may be born to be an engineer father. Or option D, they may become famous actors on one day. So here they have asked which is most likely to be true. Okay, the one that will be acquired by her children. So she has natural curly hair. She is tall, contemporary and ballet dancing. Now you see all the four options there. Now you have to find out the closest one that is linked to the which is hereditary. Okay, not the acquired traits, the inherited traits. So inherited traits, the one that is out of this four option is the curly hair. Okay, so hair color, shape of the hair, these are all inherited traits. Whereas dance, or to be an engineer, or to become an actor, they are all acquired traits which her children may acquire in a due course of time. But the genetically inherited one is the curly hair. So option B will be the correct answer. Okay, next one: what is the genetic basis of the increase in number of black peppered moth after the industrial revolution? I hope you know. So here it is nothing but so the ones the black color moth of the you have already studied this topic in your NCERT book. It is already given a case study of the peppered moth, after what happened before and what happened after the industrial revolution. So there were two moths, white and black colored. So out of that, during industrial revolution, the black peppered moth, their population increased because their survival chances increased because of the natural selection, due to which there is a that happened because of natural selection. The genes got mutated and the black peppered moth population increased based on the changing environment, and they had a better chance of survival compared to the white colored moth. Okay, so that's the answer. So genes determining darker color of the moth got selected and the frequency increased in the population. So what happened was, I'll tell you in brief what is it all about. So the black and white colored moth, okay, that is the peppered moth. They used to live where they used to live is like mostly on the birch trees. Okay, these are the birch trees. If you see the branch or the tree trunk, you see that it is white color, right? So what is happening now, these are the peppered moths. So one is white, one is black. Okay, so you see this is white, this is black, this is black. Another, if you can see, this is also this is a white color pepper moth. Now if you see the white ones are camouflaged with the surrounding, right? So in the if you it is not easy to make out which one are the white ones, whereas the black ones they stood out. Okay, whereas the white ones they camouflage with the birch trees, right? So it was advantageous for the white colored moths to escape from the predators because of their color. So that was camouflaging with the environment. Okay, so their population was more compared to the black ones. So black population was less, whereas the white population was more during that time. Okay, that is naturally they were able to match with the surrounding. So their survival rate was more. Okay, so this is a classic example of natural selection, where the individuals are best suited as per the environment and their chance of survival becomes longer, and even when they reproduce they pass on the same genes, that is to the next generation. Okay, so that's called natural selection. Now what happened during industrial revolution? So that time lot of factories, industries came out. Okay, and now what happened was, now because of the lot of industries and all came out, so there were lot of pollutions. Okay, so black smoke, because they used coal that time. So because of that, the environment was fully polluted. Even because of that pollution, the tree colors they changed to black. Okay, if you see in the picture, you can see the trees turning into black. Those birch trees, they turn black. Now what happened was, now because of the changing color of the background, you see now you can easily spot the white colored ones, right? Whereas the black got camouflage. Now it became the reverse. Earlier white was camouflaging, now black color got the advantage over the white ones, because white color can easily, white colored moth were easily spotted. उसके वजह से क्या हुआ, the predators they were able to hunt the white colored moth than the black colored moth. So the, now what will be the result? So what will happen? Now black color moth का population ज़्यादा हो जाएगा and white color moth का population कम होगा, because now they are easily spotted by the predators. तो इसी के वजह से what is happening now, white color population started increasing, and the same genes of the black colored moths they were being passed on because of again environment, that is the natural selection. Environment change हो गया, इसके वजह से now black moth got the advantage over the white colored moth. Okay, now what happened was later on again, like people started realizing that that environment is fully polluted, so they came up with several plans, several modification was done. As a result, the environment slowly क्या हुआ, clean होता गया. Now जब environment clean हो गया, now those birch trees now started producing new ones with faces, the original ones with the white colored trunks. Now what is happening, अब white color tree trunk अगर हो गया, now what will happen, now the white moths again will have the advantage, right? Now it will be able to camouflage, and black ones will be now become the disadvantage. So that is nothing but natural selection. Nature with the changing nature, if you are able to survive, then you are, then it means you can pass on the genes to the next generation and your population will also increase. But if you are unable to adapt to the changing environment, that means your survival rate will be low. So that is all about natural selection. Okay, so that's what, so during industrial revolution black moth का population ज़्यादा हो गया. Why? Because of the changing environment, जिसके वजह से white moths were easily spotted out and the dark moths were moths escaped the predators and their population started increasing. Okay. Next question. The picture below is of the chromosome pairs present in the cell of a person. Now how many, so this is the chromosomal mapping of human being. Okay, so you have to identify the sex of the person looking at the picture and give reason, and also state the number of chromosomes present in a male or a female gamete. So if you see here, so there are 20, so each of them are paired. Okay, so always when you see a chromosome mapping of a human being, always see the last one for the sex chromosome. Okay, here it is given as W. So last one will tell you the sex chromosome. Now this or which sex it is. Now you see both the chromosomes are not of the same length. One is longer, one is shorter. And we know that X chromosome is longer than Y chromosome. So obviously this will be XY. And XY means it is a male. Okay. And how many pairs of chromosomes? So always there are 23 pairs of chromosomes. So total of 46 chromosomes are present. Okay, so here in this case, so it is a male. Okay, next one. If a tall pea plant bearing red flowers, T capital R smaller, is crossed with another pea plant that is short and white flowers. Okay, this is all your in short it is a capital, one short. Okay, the R, small r is also there. These are not all totally capital. Keep in mind. Okay, what percentage of gametes will have both alleles for short and white flowers? You have to say how many percentage of the gametes will have both short and white flowers. That means short and white means this one. Okay, so if you see here for the capital T, capital R, capital R. So what are the gametes for this? So one will be capital T, capital, that is tall and red, and one will be tall and white flower. There won't be any short and white flowers. Both are dominant. Capital T is dominant. There is no small t here, so that means it will both will have. So there will be 0 chance of short and white flowers. Okay, 0%. Now in case of the short and white flowers, this one, small t, smaller. So all are small t, smaller, smaller. So all will be 100%. From here, 100% are short and wide. So for F1 generation, what will be the chance? So if you see for the F1, not F2, okay, so they're asking for the F1. So from here, you see TR will come here one, so there is a 50% chance. Okay, so here so 50% chance of your tall and red, and 50% chance of having short and white color flowers. Okay, because it is F1 generation they are asking, so it will be 50%, 50%, because there is here from here it is 100%. Okay, so from here half will come in the next generation, and from here all tall and red, so from here half, so 50-50. So 50% tall and red, and 50% tall and short and white flowers. So option C is the correct option. Okay, अभी next वाला, Rett syndrome is a condition caused due to the mutation of a gene located on the X chromosome. Okay, so here is a gene. Rett syndrome is a sex-linked chromosomal disorder. Okay, so because of the mutation, so genes, there was a change in the gene located on the X chromosome में हुआ है, such that if an individual carries even a check of the mutated gene, they show symptoms of this condition. Now there are two cases being given. Case 1 में father is affected, mother is not. Okay, so and case 2 में father is not affected and the mother is. So जिसमें भी affect हो रहा है उसमें R, X chromosome में एक R लगा हुआ है. Okay, so ये father is affected, so यहाँ पे XR लिखा हुआ है, and here mother is affected, so XR. Normal ones they don't have the R in X chromosome. Okay, so now the question is, what is the probability of the sons having or showing symptoms of the disease in case 1? यहाँ पे बताना है whether the sons will have this syndrome or not. So let's find out. So father is affected, so XRY. ठीक है, किसके साथ, mother के साथ क्रॉस करो. So this one, okay, this one. तो यहाँ पे क्या हो गया, XRX XRX. Okay, then you have Y के साथ, so here XY, or again you have XY. Now you have to find only for the sons. So this is the male, so this is the, so यहाँ पे R है ही नहीं, so that means there is 0% chance of having disease in case 1. In case of case 1, लेकिन daughter अगर पूछे थे, so there is 100% chance, both are having. Okay, now second one, what percentage of daughters will be affected in case 2? अब case 2 में क्या है, daughter का निकालना है. ठीक है, so here father is not affected, so XY, and mother is affected. अभी निकालो this one first. So हो गया तुम्हारा XRX और एक हो गया XX. Okay, and X, so यहाँ पे male का जरूरत नहीं है, we only have to find for daughter. So see here, one has the chance of having, another is normal, right? So that means 50-50 chance. So 50% chance of daughter might have this Rett syndrome. एक में है एक में नहीं है, so there will be 50-50 chance. Okay, next one, which of the following is or are true about traits that have not been naturally selected? That means we are talking about genetic drift. Okay, I hope everyone knows what is genetic drift. So it's a sudden change, it's not related to natural selection, so nature के वजह से it's not happening, it's a sudden change because of which the population decreases. Okay, so generation after generation the population they start decreasing because of a sudden change, and as so here they are asking, the options are given here. X, they were always detrimental to the life of the organism. Option Y, their frequency reduces in subsequent generation. Then Z, organisms carrying these traits cannot reproduce at all. 4 options are given, only X, Y, Y and Z, and XZ. So here the correct option will be Y. Why? Because only in genetic drift there is no, there is only, as I've said, there is decrease in the subsequent generation, population started decreasing, and they are always detrimental to life. That is wrong. Organisms carrying these traits cannot reproduce it. That is also wrong. Okay, only thing is their population starts decreasing. Okay, one example is, अगर कोई if you take a population to an isolated island, ठीक है, आइसोलेटेड आइलैंड में लेके जाओ, एक स्पेसिफिक ब्रीड को ही लेके जाओगे, So what will happen? The breeding will occur only between those species. So what will happen? सिर्फ एक ही species का वही breed का ही दिखेगा, बाकी variation का बाकी breeds का नहीं दिखेगा उस island में. So that means there is a decrease in the other variants of that species. Only as the specific breed will survive. So slowly क्या होगा? Variations नहीं होगा तो that means what? If there is no variation, then chance of survival also becomes less. So population also starts decreasing. Okay, because they'll not be able to adapt to the changing environment. Or another case is, suppose you have a huge flood, okay, suddenly like tsunami happened, so a huge chunk of population was killed. So what will happen? A specific population remains, so only those specific whatever remaining population was left out, उसके साथ ही interbreeding होगा, उसके साथ ही like the next generation will come. So what will happen? There is a limited variation, so generations reduce हो गया, right? So that is nothing but genetic drift. It is a sudden change which is not related to natural selection. Okay. Now the next one, in their natural habitats and in normal condition, in which of the following organisms does the offspring exhibit genetic differences from their parents? So four options are given: cyanobacteria, amoeba, planaria, ant. So where does you see genetic difference? Only during, that is genetic variations. उसका मतलब that means we are talking about sexual reproduction. तो इनमें से who does the sexual reproduction? You see cyanobacteria, amoeba, planaria, tinois, these are asexual reproduction, right? Only ant is the one which is undergoing sexual reproduction. So that is why option D is the correct answer. The ones undergoing asexual reproduction, what happens? Since only one parent is involved, the offsprings will look exactly alike. There will be no vast difference in their genes. So that is why ant is the correct option. Next one, consider a woman suffering from a disease that is not linked to sex chromosome. Okay, so a person is there, a woman is there, उसका बीमारी हुआ है, but it is not linked to sex chromosome, like the earlier case that we studied about Rett syndrome. Okay, geneticist wanted to know the likelihood of disease passing on to future so geneticist को बुलाया जो study करेगा whether उस woman का next generation में वो disease pass होगा कि नहीं, although it is not linked to sex chromosome. To identify this, it was important to identify if the disease is caused by a dominant or a recessive one. So the geneticist made a chart of the appearance of this disease in the family members related to the woman. तो उसने क्या किया? First find out किया whether it is occurring because of a dominant or a recessive allele, and then she studied in her family members that were related to that woman. Okay. State two observations in the family history that will help the geneticist identify the disease caused by a dominant trait. So how will she identify two observations? जब family history बनाया, so she found, so what are the two observations that she will make? एक तो अगर एक parent dominant है, okay, either father or mother, अगर dominant genes के वजह से हुआ है, then obviously one will be that it will be definitely transferred to the next generation. Right? So उस woman का अगर parent, either of the one parent has the dominant gene that is causing the disease, that means obviously उसका तो हुआ है, plus उसका siblings का भी हो सकता है, भाई बहन का भी हो सकता है. Okay? Subsequently next generation जब होगा तो उन लोगों में से जिन लोगों का जो बीमार हुआ था, suppose that woman and any other sibling, उनका next generation में किसी का भी हो सकता है. Why? Because it is linked to the dominant gene. अगर dominant gene अगर है तो dominant gene में अगर वो it is linked to the dominant gene, तो obviously dominant gene जहाँ जहाँ होगा वहीं पे वो बीमारी, उन लोगों को बीमारी होगा. Okay, so that's the answer. At least one of the parent of the woman will also have the disease. Other than her, some of her siblings would also have the disease. In each generation, one or more individuals will have the disease. Okay. Next one. In a population of 10,000 ladybugs spread over the entire country, there are 7,500 red-colored blacks with black spot, 1,200 purple-colored with black spots, and remaining are white-colored with black spots. Which colored ladybugs have an evolutionary advantage and why? Evolutionary advantage किसका होता है? That you should know. So always there is a evolutionary advantage, और सबसे ज़्यादा chance of survival किसका होगा? जिसका सबसे ज़्यादा population होता है. That means जो population सबसे ज़्यादा होगा, that means they are having a better chances of survival. Population जितना कम होगा उतना survival rate कम होता जाएगा. There will be decrease in that population. Okay. So इसमें से if you see 7,500 is the highest one. remaining is 1200, and other part out of 10,000, the remaining ones are white colored ones. So 7500 is the highest one, so they will have the highest rate of survival, that is red colored with black spots. Okay, so that's the answer. Next one, Bindu wants to produce a hybrid variety of tomatoes. Okay, उसको tomatoes बनाना hybrid variety, तो उसने दो tomato plant लिया, X and Y. Okay, two different varieties. एक variety is what smooth long fruits and other variety was wrinkled round fruit. इन दोनों को मिला के उसको hybrid tomato चाहिए. Okay, and you know tomatoes are bisexual flowers. Now what is bisexual flowers? That means flowers which are having both male and female part together in the single flower, right? So that is called bisexual flower. Bindu carries out the following steps carefully to cross pollinate the flowers of plants X and Y. इन दोनों variety को करने के लिए, so what she did, she removes a part of the flower of tomato plant X just before the flowers bloom. Okay, so what she did, to plant X का flower का एक part उसने remove कर दिया. Then she manually pollinates the flower of tomato plant X using pollens from the flowers of tomato plant Y. तो उसने क्या किया, tomato plant X का flowers को pollinate किया किससे, using the pollens from the plant Y, flower of plant Y. She ties small plastic bag around the pollinated flowers, okay, of tomato plant X. Plant X में pollination किया तो इसलिए plant X को plastic bags use करना. Why do we use plastic bags for? So what will happen? So in order to avoid contamination, so that no other pollination occurs from any other parts of the flower. Okay, she was specific because she needed only the pollens from plant Y X में डालना है, तो इसलिए उसने cover कर दिया plant X को. Okay, so that other pollination दूसरा flower के से contaminate ना हो जाए, जिसको उसको एक specific variety चाहिए, so that is why she did this process. Okay, the plastic bags are removed after a couple of days. Once the pollination is done, so she removed it after some period of time. Now Bindu now wants to try producing a hybrid variety of pumpkins. टोमेटो में कर लिया, अब उसको pumpkin में करना है, PNQ वेराइटी के लिए. ठीक है ना, पम्पकिन्स है यूनिसेक्सुअल. टोमेटो में तो था बाइसेक्सुअल फ्लावर था, तो उसने एक पार्ट हटा दिया और एक पार्ट से दूसरा पार्ट में डाल दिया, राइट ना. हियर इट इज यूनिसेक्सुअल. यूनिसेक्सुअल में या तो मेल होगा या फीमेल होगा, लेकिन अलग अलग फ्लावर्स होगा फ्रॉम द सेम प्लांट. ओके, there is a slight variation in the procedure as described below. She does not remove any part from the pumpkin flower she wants to pollinate. Now you think why it is happening. She has not removed any part from the pumpkin flower as she wants to pollinate. However, she still ties small plastic bags around the manually pollinated flowers, but she has done the same repeated process of keeping the plastic bags. Explain why Bindu does not remove any part from the flowers to be pollinated, but still ties small plastic bags after pollination. So as I've said, since unisexual flowers, तो इसके लिए उसको कोई part तोड़ने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, right? She does not have to remove any part because it is a unisexual. Male or female अलग अलग है, तो you can easily identify which one is male, which one is female. Now she has kept the plastic bag. Why? Because so that contamination, to avoid that contamination of other pollinated flowers. Okay. So same here, she does not remove any part from the pollen because the female pumpkin flowers does not have any male parts. She still ties the pollinated flowers because the pollens from other male flowers can still reach the stigma, right? So in order to avoid that, so she has put the plastic bags. So this is your answer. I hope I am clear here. Next one. A scientist wanted to determine whether a tall pea plant X was TT or TT. Okay, to do this he crossed two X plants, one with a pea plant known to carry double T traits, second one with a pea plant known to carry small t traits. Consider that X could be TT or T, capital T, small t. What ratios would he obtain in both crosses 1 and 2? Show the crosses. Based on the ratios obtained in A, a cross with which parents 1 or 2 would help in identifying whether X was capital T or capital T small t. Justify. Okay, तो एक साइंटिस्ट ने क्या किया, so he wanted to know whether a tall pea plant लिया था, अगर लेकिन was it both capital T or capital T small t, because both are having dominant capital T, right? But whether it is homozygous or heterozygous, he wanted to know. तो उसके वजह, so for that what he did, he crossed two X plants. Okay, एक में क्या किया, एक pea plant लिया उसको पता है कि उसमें capital T था, और एक प्री प्लान लिया जिसमें स्मॉल टी था. ओके, सो व्हाट विल फाइंड, सो इफ इट वाज कैपिटल टी व्हाट ही ऑब्टेन, सो एक तो पता था कि उस कैपिटल ये ले लिया था, राइट, दिस इज द वन. और एक में उसने या तो एज्यूम किया था या होगा ये होगा या होगा, तो उसने क्या किया, सेम कैपिटल टी ले लिया दोनों में. विच वन, दैट इज द केस here number 1. Okay, so this one, okay, this one. Now here what is the one which is assume he doesn't know, तो एक कैपिटल टी के साथ किया और एक कैपिटल टी स्मॉल टी के साथ किया. यहाँ पे देखो सारे क्या हुआ, द ऑल प्लान्स ऑब्टेन वर टॉल because all were capital T. Here one was small t was there, but still he has obtained all tall plants, right? In both the cases tall plants किया. Okay, now based on the ratios obtained in A, across with which parent 1 or 2 would help in identifying whether X was capital T. अभी second option में देखो, one with a P plan known to carry small t. अभी देखो small t के साथ क्या हुआ. अगर X was capital T और small t उसने ले लिया. Okay, here also small t एक लिया था capital T के साथ. ओके, और एज्यूम क्या था, कैपिटल टी होगा दूसरा वाला और एक कैपिटल टी स्मॉल टी. यहाँ पे भी सेम उसने एक द वन विच ही नोज दैट इट इज स्मॉल टी, तो दोनों में स्मॉल टी और बाकी दूसरा वाला कैपिटल टी और एक कैपिटल टी स्मॉल टी. इसमें देखो इसमें क्या मिला उसको, इसमें मिला ऑल वेर टॉल, राइट. लेकिन इसमें देखो क्या हुआ, नाउ व्हाट इज हैपनिंग हियर ही हैज गॉट 50 टॉल एंड 50% आर शॉर्ट, right, dwarf. So that means with this can he, so which out of this 1 or 2 is easy for him to determine. यहाँ पे तो इसमें भी टॉल मिला, इसमें भी टॉल है, सो ही कैन नॉट डिटरमाइन अगर इट इज कैपिटल टी और कैपिटल. लेकिन इसमें क्या हो रहा है, सारा टॉल मिला अगर वो कैपिटल, लेकिन इसमें क्या है 50 टॉल भी मिला, ड्वार्फ मिला. सो दैट मीन्स दिस ऑप्शन ही विल यूज टू आइडेंटिफाई. बिकॉज यहाँ पे देखो इफ इट वॉज कैपिटल टी ही हैज गॉट 50% टॉल 50% short. Okay, so that second option is the correct one. Second one will be helpful, and the ratios of offspring obtained were different for capital T and capital T small t, whereas in option 1 the ratios were same for capital T and capital T small t. So it would not be possible to determine whether X is TT or TT based on 1. अगर first option लेते हैं तो इसको पता नहीं चलता whether it was capital T or capital T small t. Okay, but if you use this option it will be helpful because अगर capital T small t है then he will get tall and short, both will get. Okay, so that's how it is for option 2 is the suitable one for him to find out. Next one, genetic drift can greatly increase variation in a population. Is this statement true? Justify. I have already told what is genetic drift. So it will not it will not create variation. It will decrease the population. Always remember, genetic drift always decreases the population. So it is false. It causes a change in the population of species which can result in the wiping out of some variants completely, which results in decreased variation in a population. Okay, so this is also the definition you can write. Okay, it's a sudden change in the population of species which results in wiping out of some variants. Okay, next one, give one reason why genetic drift is not same as natural selection. As I have already said, it is by chance, so it is not related to natural selection. So this is the answer. Okay, next one parent suffered from a disease which was then seen only in the male children of subsequent generation, not seen in female children. Okay, so only in male it was seen. Is this disorder likely to be linked to the sex chromosome of the individuals or not? Justify answer. So a parent suffered with a disease which was only with a male and subsequent generation and not in female. So yes, it is linked to the sex chromosome because it was seen in males, not in females. So definitely it is a sex link chromosome deficient, and अगर sex link है, अगर male में ही दिखा रहा है, that means it will be linked with Y. X के साथ होगा नहीं, X के साथ होता तो daughter का भी होता, तो it is not with the female ones, it was only linked with the male ones. So male का X and Y होता है, तो X अगर होगा ही नहीं क्योंकि female में नहीं था, तो that means remaining is Y. So it is Y linked. Okay. and if it was not Y-linked chromosome, it would have been seen in the daughters as well. जो मैंने बोला, अगर daughters को भी था तो फिर X link होगा, तो X link होने से boys and daughter का भी हो सकता था, son का भी हो सकता. But since only son, that means it is only difference will be, it will be Y-related chromosomes. Okay. Next one, justify the following statements. Organisms that originate from a common ancestor may look very different from each other. Organisms that have similar looking structures may not necessarily come from a common ancestor. So you have to justify this one. So here the answer is, yes, when the organisms that originate from a common ancestor may look different because of the variations, because of the mutations that goes on. So the variations occur in subsequent generations. Okay, that leads to evolution. Second answer, it is possible for unrelated organisms to have similar looking organs. Yes, it can happen, especially when they live in similar environment and undergo same selective pressure. So that is natural selection, where because of the environment, different organisms, unrelated organisms can also have similar looking organs, right? Because of the, and if they are in the same environment, same living together in the same environment, or same whatever conditions are there in that particular place, so that time, yes, they may look similar. So it is possible. Next one, a new sugarcane plant is genetically the same as the parent plant, but a child of human parents is genetically not the same as its parents. Explain why. Why? One is the sugarcane plant, another is human. So sugarcane plant is genetically same. Why? Because of the asexual reproduction. Human parents cannot be, because it's not same because of sexual reproduction, where variations definitely will occur. Okay, so sugarcane plant, one parent is involved, so no mixing of gametes. That's why they look alike. Okay, that's the same answer. Okay, so that's all for today. Next we'll be doing the remaining chapter for biology, and if you like my videos, do like, share and subscribe, and do comment, and have a good day everyone, and thank you and enjoy learning.